Are we recording?
Yes.
We should get an on-air light for the window.
Just to get some fucking professionalism.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can close the door, but some people just open the door.
It's true. Let's see. What are we looking at here?
Look on Amazon.
Oh yeah, I know where to buy things.
Prime. Same day.
Prim. Amazon Prim.
Maybe we could get it before the end of this podcast.
What? Go in for Prime now.
Yeah.
Man, they really want you to pay.
How much are they?
It depends. If you're going for the pro level.
I don't think we need pro level.
But I mean, if we're trying to manifest,
it just has to light up and say on air. What is pro about the most expensive one?
Well, this is from Recall Dynamics, commercial on-air sign. Listen, here's the difference, is that this one is used in hundreds of leading facilities worldwide.
How much is it?
It's like $125, but at the same time, like, I want to be known. I want to be in that club. Let's say somebody were to come over and they were to see that on-air light. I know that there'd be a little nod
they appreciate
of respect.
We're using the industry standard in on-air lights.
Yeah, it's like, it's a chance to make that impression.
I was in my head thinking like $50.
I bet there's a cheaper one. Well, here, I'll look at this later. It turns out that this is a very deep...
Yeah.
This is a very deep hole. Once you begin to look, it's like, and then do you want the remote?
Oh, well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm already on the couch. I'm not going to want to get up.
No, because I can hear your organs just sloshing around in there as you creep over to the light.
Nope, I need a remote.
Yeah.
I need a remote like we need a comic.
Man, that was smooth.
Look at that transition. You played a lot of Overwatch with us this weekend. I was really happy.
Well, yeah, it was just an odd thing. This weekend, I ended up sort of handling my tasks, and then time I would have ordinarily just spent wringing my hands and worrying about the state of the universe. Instead, I went down and turned on the PS4. What was funny to me was that no matter when I turned on the PS4, you and Kara were there. So we're talking about, I mean, literally a 12-hour period during the day. Every time I went on, surely they won't be both on playing this time.
Well, we were trying to organize a weekend getaway for Kara and I. We were trying to figure out where we wanted to go, just the two of us for a weekend. My parents had offered to take the kids, and the more we thought about it, we're like, we don't want to go anywhere. We just want to stay home but not have the kids. Like, that's what I want to do for my vacation. So they took the kids, and we fucking stayed home and had a little staycation.
See, that sounds all right.
We watched all of Stranger Things. We played hours of Overwatch. We ordered pizza and ate snack mix. It's pretty great.
Yeah, what's this? I tried to determine what the contents of the snack mix were, just because I could constantly hear the crunching.
Yeah, it was quite a mix. She found the recipe on Pinterest. It's like Chex Mix, chocolate chips, marshmallows, powdered sugar. It's supposedly like a s'more snack mix, and you kind of mix it up in a pot, and it's all melting together, and the chocolate gets over all the Chex Mix and the marshmallows, and then it's good.
This is madness. You're describing an insane
I know
process.
But it's funny, as my dad came back with the boys, and he's like, Gabriel is so much like you. He would rather be at home on his computer. He doesn't want to go out. If you can get him out, he has a good time.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Elliot's like that too.
It's a struggle to get him out.
Elliot's like that too. And the reality is that, they both of those boys, they have what we gave them. I mean,
oh yeah. Yeah.
They have that anxiety about it.
Yeah.
And I think that Brenna has some anxiety too, but she just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Because it's like you have a sense of your own mind, right?
Yeah, but you have nothing to compare it to.
Yeah, but you don't. Yeah, exactly. And so you if you're constantly being put in a position to do this social stuff
Yeah.
and you don't like it, you just feel like a bad person. You don't you don't actually understand that the reason psyching yourself up even to go hang out with friends
Yeah.
can be work, right?
Yeah. But that stress comes from, for me at least, it came from like maybe a false comparison. Because in your head, you imagine that everyone else is
Having the best time.
having the best time, right? That idea that you have to compare yourself against the norm, or what you think is the norm, that's what causes that stress.
Really? The disparity between those two things?
For me, it was. Yeah,
That's so funny. Because I was going to say that they have what we gave them, and they both have anxiety, but that does not describe my anxiety at all.
Oh, really?
No.
Well, think about this, though, because I'd seen this quote that really stuck out to me. It said, comparison is the thief of joy. And
That's a good one.
And it really is. Anytime I start to think about this is stressing me out, I'm really nervous, I find that somewhere at the root of it, it's like I'm feeling like I should be doing better. But if I just accept that I suck and that I'm not capable of all this other shit, suddenly things become a lot easier.
That's so interesting. It's almost exactly the opposite of how I experience that stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, just like everything else is that way,
Yeah.
right? Where for me, it was that sense of disparity.
Yeah.
That wasn't what was creating the anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
My anxiety is based on a cool-headed, rational assessment
Of the apocalypse.
of the fact that
What?
the whole fucking thing is rigged and garbage. Like that's for me, it's not hard to discern that. It's all evil, abstract, arbitrary mechanisms just grinding people up in the gears. Like, to me, there's no, there isn't another way of thinking of it. That's obvious.
Yeah.
And so for me, what happened when I saw that disparity, I was like, that was actually for me the key that I had a problem at all.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, technically speaking, yes, obviously there's this huge machine, but I'm doing pretty good. It seems like things are pretty good, and I can't perceive it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I just, I'm coming to terms with my capabilities and my capacity, and it's
You're
freeing.
identifying it?
It's freeing.
Yeah.
I played a lot of Overwatch, but Stranger Things is also pretty great, and everybody's watching it, except you. Everybody else in the world has watched it.
All other people?
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is I watched it and loved it, but I haven't looked up any, I don't know what the critical response to it is or anything like that.
I think most people are cranked.
Does everybody love it?
Well, no, because I was poking around yesterday just trying to get a sense of what was going on.
Yeah.
Surrounding it, that final push, to get me on board with that. Right now, part of the reason I haven't started it is because we're playing. Each night we're checking out Endeavor, and this is exactly the type of show that you would not like.
Okay.
British mysteries are the best.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an especially good one.
Okay.
So there was a show called Inspector Morse, which is about an older. Okay. Well. No, so hold on. Just for real. So there is a show that's a good show, and then that has a spin-off show that sort of takes place after it, where his assistant, basically his partner, becomes the main character.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a show that is a prequel to Morse, that is about him when he's younger, and he's becoming the character that we know and like in the other show.
Young Indiana Jones.
Yes, exactly the same. But it's really good. They're basically movie length, and so it actually takes us a couple.
Jeez. Every episode is movie length?
Yeah, there's only like 4 episodes. This is a very British mystery type
Wow.
thing, where the whole series basically is
2-hour episodes?
an hour and a half or so. Yeah,
That's not
almost
movie
2.
length.
It's exactly. It's wild, but they're just executed so well, and the character is so interesting that it's just hard to. It's hard not to watch every episode that's available.
Yeah. Well, that'll be done at some point, right? I mean,
Well, no, it'll be done very soon. So then
you
I can
switch
come in.
over.
Then I can come in on this Stranger Things. So I watched a couple trailers just so that I could be synchronized.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind being pandered to. I guess I don't like pandering unless it's to me. Because that is pandering to that late 80s child for sure.
Yeah, but it
And
doesn't
it scratches all the right spots.
But it seems like it works. It seems like it works even if you don't. Like
Yeah, there's
I
some
was
young
not.
people
I mean,
here
think
that
about
like it.
think about the Wonder Years.
Right.
I was not a child from that era,
No.
but when I watched that show with my parents,
Yeah.
everybody liked it.
Right.
It was still good and it was still interesting. And I think the same thing's happening here,
Yes.
right? I
Yeah.
think that you can watch this with your kids if you think they won't be horrified
Yeah,
by
I was
it.
going to say, I would not watch this with my kids, but
Right, but I think that you could watch it with younger people and they would find its artifacts
yeah.
fascinating. Right?
Right. Yeah, the archaeological aspect of it for them is probably interesting. To us, it's like a time capsule. Every song,
Yeah.
all the clothes, all the technology.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but how do you the fact that I haven't seen it and you have seems like there's a strip opportunity right there. There's
Yeah.
a sales aspect.
A sales pitch. Yeah.
Yeah, but also like all my questions, like as soon as I know that there's some kind of a thriller that takes place in some other time period, like all my basic questions are like, okay, so which episode do they reveal that it's all taking place in a military bunker? They've recreated the 1980s, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's the problem, is that for the modern fan, like the modern science fiction type fan,
Yeah.
as soon as you see the hook, you're like, But
Yeah.
you're telling me it takes place in the actual 80s.
It is a legit, it is like a show that took place in that time period. It's an artifact from that time. Everything about it, from the music to the intro, it's just like a show that is out of time.
Yeah, it's a time capsule thingy.
Yeah. You could very easily be like, oh, this was a show that was on in the 80s.
Yeah, the music is incredible.
God, the music's good.
It's crazy. I'm not even talking about the licensed stuff.
No, I mean, that's good too, but I'm just talking about their ambient, the score of the show. God, and the characters are really good too.
Yeah, even in the trailer, I felt like I knew some of those dudes.
Yeah.
I felt like they understood the weird ass, like, I mean, I don't know if it was like, I'll ask Brenna. My conversations with her have led me to believe that it functions in a different way.
What?
But the really weird ass boy hierarchy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and they have the sort of Karate Kid style bullies
Oh yeah.
in there. But they do some fun twists on those sort of characters.
Yeah.
They don't function exactly like you expect them to.
Yeah, there's always more complicated than it looked.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the reality is that if I'm not watching Stranger Things because
You're watching some
because
British
it's not a
mystery.
British mystery, that's the main problem that I
Yeah.
can see with it, is that people are not speaking in English accents.
Yeah. But it's that show back then, kids swore and didn't tell their parents things. Right? Like they went off with their bike and had adventures and said bad words.
Oh, definitely.
And
Oh,
then,
man,
and their
just-
parents were oblivious.
Oh yeah, and because they were out. I mean, I was out all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like I'm out, even at Elliot at 10. Like I was out way more than he is.
Oh yeah.
And I have, like we said, like I have the anxiety and stuff like that too. But it was just about other things, right? It was, my anxiety is not about the world outside my head. Like
Yeah.
I have plenty of anxiety built in. right?
Yeah.
So staying in doesn't protect me from it.
Oh.
So I can be anxious outside, and it's
Staying in protects me.
yeah. I mean, you're always telling me to watch shows. I mean, I still haven't gotten around to that Stephen King JFK Hulu thing.
11/22/63.
Yeah, I'm just you know it exactly.
That show is great.
Oh yeah, you said it was the best show you had ever watched.
Yeah,
and
it really was.
I haven't gotten around to it. Man in the High Castle
Man in the High Castle was very good.
should be a Jerry exclusive.
How come you're not watching this shit?
It's a combo. It's a combo platter. It's this British stuff, and it's Overwatch.
Sure.
Overwatch has just chewed out the core of
Yeah.
regular show watching time.
Yep. Me too.
And I also have a hard time because I'll start a show, like I started the second season of Daredevil, and it's like a lot of times they're not catalyzing. So even the time I've spent with the first hour or so,
Yeah.
I could have been doing something else.
Well, if you watch the first episode of Stranger Things, you're gonna watch them all.
You won't have the same thing.
No.
Is there an episode after which you basically have to shotgun the rest of the series?
Yeah, I would say it's hard to stop after 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was
And there's only 8, so
yeah. There's a Pride and Prejudice show that had Jennifer Ely in it and Colin Firth. And it's like if you get to this, I guess this is a British show again, isn't it?
God, you watch terrible television.
No, man, I swear to, but if you get to the third episode, this is the problem. This has happened to us before. If you'll start watching it and then you'll get to the third episode, and after you do that, like you have to watch the rest. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when that third episode ends. Like if it's 11 or 12,
You keep going.
you have no choice.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to spoil anything, but
Right.
there's a man and a woman in it, and their relationship is very complicated.
Yeah. So Cave's like, listen, I know that you only watch that BBC shit because you hate your country.
because you hate the country that has given you so much.
How about you take a break from fucking romantic costume dramas?
It's like you need to be honest with me. You need to answer this question. You need to think very carefully about it. Does anyone have a parasol in Stranger Things?
Is there a single parasol?
One. Is there one?
Is there even
In the
one?
corner of the room, is there even one parasol? If not, right?
I'm out. Does
I
anyone
only
at
know
least
you.
have a
I know you only
British accent?
I know you watch BBC shit because you hate the country that has given you so much. But you need to watch Stranger Things. It's not optional.
It's not optional. Is there someone with a British accent at least? No.
So,
How about a parasol?
some out of towner with a unique perspective on American life. Someone from across the pond
Maybe some out of towner.
on crooked perspective on we Yanks.
No.
Yes. Is there really? No.
No. It's just the greatest sci-fi show since X-Files, and that's going to have to be enough for you.
And that's not optional. It's just, I mean, is there somebody in the show from across the pond at least? Someone with a quirky perspective on we Yanks? Yes. Really? No.
No.
I like the idea that there has to be a parasol, though.
Yeah.
Does anybody have a parasol? Listen,
Does anyone carry a
you have weird rules for your shows. It's not enough. It isn't enough for it to be an excellent show.
You know, I was thinking about the 80s setting,
Yeah.
and it is very much designed to, you know, I guess tickle our nostalgia bone. But it's really also the only way that you can isolate a town like that. Like, that entire show would have been ruined if someone could just send an email.
Yes. No, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, no, and they always have to. You always have to work around that now.
right.
You know, if you look at like a Agatha Christie. This is another fucking British show.
The hell is wrong
God
with you?
damn it. No, listen, I watch a lot of these shows, but I'm saying that, like, an older, you had different tricks.
Yeah.
It's like now sometimes, like, your cell phone doesn't have a battery.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Like, that's what you have in store. Yeah. I'm going to ask you a question about this show, and you need to be very honest with me.
Any parasols? What, like spray paint? No. Those are aerosols.
Like a spray can? Nope. At any point, does one of the characters absent-mindedly twirl a parasol? Oh, that first line is so good.
Yeah.
Which of these second lines do we like? Do we like the fact that there's just nobody?
I'm trying to figure out where it goes, how you punch it.
Yeah.
Based off any of those lines.
Yeah, I mean, did you ever see... I mean, this is not a British show. You'll be surprised. You ever see Carnival?
No, that's the HBO show, right?
Yeah. So that's sort of a Depression era America. And it turns out that Depression era America is an amazing place to set a modern fantasy show. Mm-hmm. Like, it never occurred to me, but it sounds like the 80s is kind of a good backdrop.
For sure.
I don't think of that period of my life as being a good set.
No, it is though. When you see it, all that stuff, the great big walkie-talkies.
Oh, that's vital.
Yeah,
those were great. My dad was a railroad dude.
Yeah,
and he had the radios that they had could go for a couple miles, and so sometimes he had a couple in his bag that could be pilfered, and I could literally talk to my friend who was like a mile away.
Wow.
It was some serious shit.
Yeah.
But we stopped doing it because people who were actually driving real trains somewhere within the radius of this device, they were just like, "Hey, this is an important channel. We need to talk about train stuff. We don't want to hear about these girls. We got a whole other thing going on." Tycho would just steer you wrong. On the flip side of this, he would just lie to you and tell you that it had whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
We need to wait till you see it.
I don't know. I think we have a hook, but I can wipe this easy. I can just leave that in there.
Let's see. It's also like this idea of Stranger Things, right? Like weird stuff happening.
Yeah.
X-Files-y type show. If you watch that first episode, it's very likely that you'll just lose 8 hours. You won't know, like you'll just watch the entire thing.
You'll wake up 8 hours later.
Yeah.
Having been transported into the 80s.
Right.
But that seems like something that would happen to Gabe.
Yeah.
Right? It could be a situation where he's warning instead of...
Yeah, that's true.
You came out of there, you get a thermos, you get a juice box. Yeah, it's like a condition.
Yeah.
That you contract.
I played some more Dub Wars too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. It seems to be random which song you open up after that first one. So I got a different one at home than we did here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The first one is... okay. It might not be a traditional difficulty curve?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, because that would explain why that first level was so hard.
Yeah, we got Choose Your Weapon here, right? I got a different one at home.
No, Choose Your Weapon was the second one.
That's what I'm saying. The second one I got was different.
Oh,
the first
I
one
see.
was the same.
Okay, so that's sort of, hey, this is what's going on.
Right.
There's a really interesting Minecraft one in there. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I just saw it in the trailer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Tell me about the chroma thing.
Oh, yeah.
How synced is the keyboard lights?
Amazing.
To the
colors
the game
and flashing all like an equalizer.
Same. Is it like an equalizer, or is it's tied into the?
It's tied into the game music, so it sort of flashes and pulses along with the music. It's pretty great. I didn't have to do anything; it just worked. There's some really cool stuff. Have you seen what it does in Overwatch?
No, I know that there is some kind of integration, but I don't know what it does.
Yeah, so when you first
I don't play it on PC.
Yeah.
Yet.
It flashes and does this really cool like orange and blue effect, and then your home buttons like the WASD light up orange, and everything else is dark. And then your specials that are on timers light up when they're ready and go dark when they're.
No.
I swear, yeah.
Oh, see, that's actually good.
It's pretty cool.
That's a cool way to do it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that. Remember that Optimus keyboard?
Yep.
With like all everything's an LED.
Everything was
like
a little.
maybe we don't need the full LED, but there's something we can do with those lights, right?
Oh yeah, it's pretty fun.
There's also the fact that you seem to think that 11 is afternoon.
Right.
For some reason.
Well, it's in the afternoon.
It's not. It's definitely not. It's definitely before noon. 100%. It's definitely before and not after.
You don't think of the afternoon as a time period that encompasses a little before noon, a little after noon?
Mm-mm.
I understand that
by
afternoon is a specific
by definition
word.
Yeah, it is. Yes, there may be a possibility of communication between our peoples.
No, but if I'm at a store and I'm buying something and I walk up to the counter and it's 11 o'clock and the person says, good morning, and then they go, oh, actually, I guess it's almost afternoon. It's afternoon now. It's not good morning at 11.
Listen.
Would you say good morning to someone at 11 o'clock if you just saw them?
Listen, I think that this is why...
Would you say good morning to someone at 11 o'clock?
I would.
That's not right.
I would, and I'm proud of it.
That's not right.
I mean, this is why you have, like, this is what Elevenses is for, right? The idea that there's, like, a break, like there's a period of time that is not noon or afternoon and not the morning.
It's not morning.
Right?
Right.
I'm just telling you, it seems like there might be an opportunity for a comic there.
Okay. What time is Charles coming over? He should be here around 11. So he should be here this afternoon sometime around 11. 11's not afternoon.
Well, no, I think that it's you doing it. Like, I'm talking to Charles.
Oh, okay.
Like, what time did Gabe say he was coming over?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I see what you're saying. Charles is here.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying he's going to come over, so he's in the afternoon, so probably around 11 or so.
Around 11 or so.
There we go. It's the reverse of what I thought.
11's not afternoon.
I think it's kind of like...
Well, it's not morning.
That's how it is...
It's literally before noon.
That's not good enough. I think of 11 o'clock as the afternoon. How could you possibly?
How could you possibly?
Here.
It is literally before noon.
So what...
I've eaten lunch at 11 before.
Well, and it's too early for lunch.
Well, it depends on what time you wake up. I think of lunch as being a certain number of hours after I wake up.
Well, listen, it sounds like your experience of time is unique, and I want to respect that.
I want to honor it.
Yeah. Afternoon, he said. So, about 11. By 11.
They should be coming over this afternoon around 11. 11's not afternoon. It's the afternoon. Yeah, I mean, it's not the morning.
It's afternoon-ish. It's not the morning.
Not the morning. I don't know. I think of 11 as afternoon. How could you possibly? It's literally before noon.
11 is literally before noon. It's afternoon-ish. Is it? Here.
We have words for a reason.
No. 11 is the number that is before 12.
It's literally before noon. That's afternoon-ish.
Is it?
Chew your throat out like a raccoon.
11 is the number that comes before 12. 11 is less than 12. It's literally before noon. Well, it's afternoon-ish.
It's literally the before noon. It can't and could never be the afternoon. And indeed could never be the afternoon. I guess I think of it as afternoonish. I'm going to waterboard you.
Well, I mean, it's afternoon-ish. Is it? I don't know. I think of 11 o'clock as the afternoon. How could you possibly?
How could you possibly?
I'm just owning it. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I think of it.
That's what I'm talking about. Understand your capacity and respect it.
That's right.
But when I cast the pot, it's like I cast the rod, keeping it hard like a motherfucker gas robot.
I'm reeling cod, today's fresh catch. I mean a podcast, something about nets.
Yes, it gets better when it's winter. I'm fettered by my fish gear, catch and release, get in that crease when my fish near.
Talk about a plant best laid off that stray. And yes, I crave that tuna with his peck fin splayed. But while I'm glistening from the whole sea, you better listen into TLC.
I got that wild caught salmon. It's tender and it's moist.
Downloadable content, a podcast of choice.